Hello, my name is Peter Stanwyck, and I'm Associate Professor of Management at Auburn University. And today I want to talk about an area that is important to me and important to the hunger program, which is looking at root causes of hunger and looking at issues related to business as trying to resolve some of those issues that are related to hunger, as well as some of the causes to that. So the title of my talk today is Identifying Root Causes of Hunger, Government, Trade, Business, and the Environment. And I first off want to talk with the President's response to hunger when he talks about the great peaceful crusade to give the world's underdeveloped areas vigorous strength to combat hunger and disease, and proposed expanded trade, technical assistance, and loans to help raise economic levels. These are all key aspects to developed countries to get them to move forward. He says ways should be found to bring more involvement of private investment, and this crusade should raise barriers against tyranny and the wars which tyranny breeds. Unfortunately, that was Dwight Eisenhower in 1958. So you can see we have a major challenge in that since the 1950s, presidents have been looking at trying to resolve some of these issues related to hunger, and as we know, they continue on today. So what I will talk about is some major groups, areas of looking at with the government trade policies, looking at the issues of biofuels, climate change, the role of government, non-government organizations, and private sector partnerships, the funding of civil wars, the impact of fair trade, business relationships, and what can be done. The inefficient use of oil is one of the key aspects. As we all know, the energy issue continues to be a driving force economically as well as politically around the world. And as it talks about there, the industrial agriculture uses 50 times more energy than traditional farming methods, and it takes the equivalent of 6 barrels of oil to raise a single cow to market, and it takes 10 calories of oil energy to produce 1 calorie of food. Again, very inefficient uses of energy, yet this is what the developed world is demanding, so therefore these inefficiencies are accepted in that with those they can charge higher prices. The use of biofuels becomes a critical element, and this is one of the areas that was not really considered when we looked at in the past hunger issues, because biofuels were never really looked at as a solution to energy issues. An 82% rise in food commodity prices from 2006 to 2008 directly related to shifting farmland to biofuel commodities, and the net result, an additional 260 million people have driven to hunger due to biofuels investments. So what we have is a fundamental shift in investment opportunities, a fundamental shift in how farmers are growing and what they're growing, and again, continuing growing biofuels, primarily corn, which is used not for consumption, human consumption, but used for energy sources and ethanol. And so what we have then is the farmers are actually subsidized by the governments in the European Union and the United States governments. And as you can see, in 2007, the U.S. subsidy was $16 billion, and the European Union subsidy of $18 billion. And with that, I also teach strategic management. And one of the issues I always talk about is whenever a government has to subsidize something, then there's an issue there in that the free market is not supporting that. And that when we have subsidies, it means that the government is using their policies as opposed to relying on a free market aspect to that. I'm going to take a short break here, and I'll be back in a minute.